Well, hello everybody. It looks like we are at 11 o'clock. I just realized I have some of my apps open, so I need to close those. And we are going to, of course, I need to turn my light on. Nobody's here yet. So we're going to wait a few minutes just to get some people here with us. This will probably be the longest broadcast live that I've ever done, and I've done these many a time. If you are here, and I just saw somebody say, hi, Shelley. Unfortunately, there's a bug that Facebook has, so we'll need you to tell us who you are. You can just tell us your first name, because we're also going to be recording you, so you might be able to win something. So anybody that's here, I'm probably going to say that 50 times, please post your name. Just your first name is fine, unless you have a very common first name. Give us an initial for your last name. So welcome. It looks like we're just getting started. So if you're joining us for our book launch, Parteee, let me put up a banner. This is being recorded, and we'll try this has a fun thing called banners, and so we'll try and show that one. So let's Parteee, which is kind of fun and very distracting. So if you are here, please do go ahead and enter your name so we know that. Leslie, hey Leslie, thank you for sharing your name. Yeah, because if you're here and you want to win something, we won't know who you are because Facebook has a bug. So thank you so much. I'm sure you've seen me mention the book launch on, my goodness, LinkedIn, 3 places, Facebook, 3 places, and YouTube. So I'm hoping for a good turnout. We also had, I think, about 60 people that registered on different platforms and 30 people that registered on the actual event. Now, again, I'm going to kind of stall here because I would like to wait for more people to be here. One of the conditions of winning the really big prizes is to register through the event, which a lot of you did, 30 of you did, and then show up for a couple minutes and say hi. So we will be giving away some really, really cool stuff for the people that are on with us that registered, and also the people that registered, I'll let you know whether you won a gift card or you can choose consulting with me. So that will come later. While we're broadcasting, we're going to give away books, and we're going to give away free seats to my upcoming LinkedIn webinar, as well as packs of the tip cards. So you'll have some tip cards that you can leave or make your own for when you're out there in the world. We'll be giving away books, field guides. And the way that we're going to do that is we need to know who you are when you're on, because Facebook has a bug. So please put your name in the comments. First name is fine, so that we can enter you in the drawing. We'll also have 2 folks we're going to be talking with. One is JC, who happens to be the editor of my book. I'm going to be bringing them on, editor of all my books. And this is book number 5. And JC is going to provide an original honoring poem, and I'm going to let them talk more about it as we have more folks on board. So the honoring poem is pretty cool because it's something that JC will create custom that can capture celebration or a loved one, a community, a place, or a cause. So we'll be looking at that. Those are anyone that buy the book today, you will be entered in a drawing for the original honoring poem. If you are here, please say your name. That's the only way we know you're here. And we're going to be doing a book giveaway here in about 10 minutes. So give us your name and we will enter you in a drawing using a cool tool called random.org that you give it a number and it spits back the winning number. So if you are here, thank you for saying hi. Let us know your name. Facebook has a bug using StreamYard, and you have to tell us who you are. It looks like everyone coming in is from Facebook, and there's where the old bug is. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the many, many people that registered for the launch. I really appreciate that because that was an extra step. But you will be rewarded because you'll be entered in a drawing. So let's see, what can we talk about while we're waiting for people to tell us who they are that are on here? Let's see, we have a comment. Congratulations on your 5th book. Oh, thank you. Is that Leslie talking? I know you received a book, so you're one of the few. I would assume that is you. So everybody, I guess I should put that in the comments, huh? Please tell us who you are, because otherwise we don't know who's talking. There is a bug in StreamYard. Not see your name. So if you're here, please do share that. Otherwise, we won't know it's you, and we can't enter you in a drawing if we don't know. That was Leslie. I figured it was you. Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that. Oh, hey, my neighbors, Donnie, and my good friends, Donnie and Marge are here. Thank you for sharing your names. That way you get entered in a drawing. Everybody that's just joining us, thank you for being here. Facebook bug, we need to know your name, so put it in the comments. The way we're going to roll this out is we're just going to talk, and every 15 minutes ago, we'll give away something, a book, or we'll give away consulting or free seat in my upcoming LinkedIn webinar. But we need to see your name. That way we can enter you in a drawing. Has anybody bought the book yet? I kind of was hoping everybody, if you're going to buy the book, today would be the day, because we're trying to promote it just in this one block of time. And probably the easiest way to go and purchase the book, let's go in, this app I'm using has banners. The easiest way would be to go to this link, and I know it's kind of long, so it might even be better and easier if you go to ShellyRoth.com and click on books. You'll see all my books that are published, and you can select the field guide. And I would really appreciate, I don't expect anybody to buy the book. It's certainly not required, but it certainly is appreciated. So ShellyRoth.com and click on the book items. So I have my editor, JC, with us, and we are going to, what did I want to do? I want to hide that banner. Navigation, you got to do it all when you're a one-man band, right? We're going to have JC kind of look and see if there's any questions out there about the book. The book, of course, is a field guide to gender-neutral language for business, families, and allies. And this is my 5th book, I'm happy to report. And it is being really well received. I've had 4 interviews, one in Australia, one in London. I've had to wake up at weird hours and stay up at weird hours, but it's been great to get that attention and exposure. So thank you, everybody who is here. We're going to do a drawing at about 11:15, but I'm going to bring JC on to see if there are any questions that there's a question from Leslie I'm seeing come in. Whoever said congratulations, please put your name there. Facebook has a bug. I've said that a million times. Don't know who you are, so need your name on there. But Leslie, how do you pronounce MX? I believe it's just mix, just like you would kind of think. Instead of saying MX, it'd be mix. And for those of you that don't know, MX is the new honorarium. Instead of Miss or Mr. or Ms., you can use MX, which stays gender neutral as an honorific across all genders. Oh, hi, Catherine and Cher down Mexico way. You've got to go get that dancing dog, that white dog. I absolutely adore that happy dog. And to share with you, my friends Catherine and Cher are moved lock, stock, and barrel out of Houston to a little fishing village in Chelem, as well as a property in Merida. And Catherine goes on these amazing walks every morning and shows us all the dogs and even a horse or two, and flora and fauna. And it's always enjoyable to look at all those pictures. Leslie, thank you for giving us your name again, because we don't know that. So let's go ahead. Before we do a giveaway, I'm going to bring JC, who's the editor of my book, all of my books, and this book in particular is what we're talking about. And we're going to bring them up into the broadcast to see about asking a question. Okay, there they are.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, JC.
Nice to see you all virtually. And Leslie, love your question about MX, because that was in editing the book. That was one of my primary questions. It's kind of similar to the how to pronounce Latin X. So there's a variation on that, whether it's Latinx or Latinx. So I'm really glad to have that clear answer, Shelley, about mix. And that was a great question. Yeah, so one of the questions
Hey, JC, hang in 1 second. We just got a bunch of people that came in. Everybody that's here, please do tell us your name. Even though you're saying hi and everybody's saying hi, we need to know who you are. Facebook has a bug in StreamYard, so we aren't able to see who you are. And we're going to do a drawing here in a few minutes, so we need to have your name so that we can assure you might be the winner. So put your name in there. First name's fine. All right, JC, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. It's so nice to see people. Hi, Kara. Glad to see that we've got a YouTube watcher. So yeah, I think one of the questions that I've had from a lot of the people that I've been telling about this book. So I work with Spectrum and Family Youth Services up in Burlington, Vermont, and they work with a lot of transgender homeless teens. And so they've been really excited about this and have been waiting for the book to come out. And so one of the kind of first general questions is, so what inspired you to write this field guide and to write it now? Because I know after we finished book number 4, you were like, that's it for books.
Yeah, I thought so. I did. I really thought that was the end. But I think what really moved me to do this is I created a tip card, and we're going to be giving away packs of these tip cards. And they're basically something that I leave at retail establishments, doctors' offices, restaurants, and gives people tips on how to stay gender neutral. Don't assume what you see is real for that person. So with that, I was like, there really needs to be more. Like, I was getting questions from parents and grandparents and medical providers and just about everybody. I was like, I'm going to create a field guide to make it one nice, simple, short. It's more like a booklet, I think, than a book. I don't know what defines a booklet, but it's only about 100 pages, and it covers not just words to use to stay neutral, but companies maybe on your forms, your intake forms, what to do there. It even, as the last minute decision, includes gender neutral baby names, especially since somebody in California was doing a gender reveal party and frickin' set the world on fire out there. So, yeah, so it just, to me, was a timely option for people to be able to go and buy the book on Amazon and easily have a guide to look at if they're starting to question or implement gender neutral practices in their business, in their families, and any allies out there. So thank you for that question. Is there any follow-on on that, JC?
Yeah, if you just want to post again into the comments where people can buy the book.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so probably I think the easiest way is to go to Shelley. Unfortunately, these links aren't clickable. ShelleyRoth.com. Then select, pick the book image. I'm typing that in, and I'll go ahead and put that in chat. And I'll also go ahead and show that on the screen. So if you go to ShelleyRoth.com, click the book image, and you can buy that book on, you'll see all my books, but pick the field guide. It'll be the easier way to go there. Hey, anybody that's just joining us, please do say hi so we know we're here. Oh, hey, Jay. Jay was in my choir, and Jay is a transgender person as well, and we reconnected after not seeing each other probably for 5 or 6 years, so it was great to reconnect. Hi, Kara, thanks for being here. I know you have things to do, so I appreciate you showing up. MA, are you still at the lake? MA is a former client of mine, and got to know her because we'd run into her at restaurants out when Kara and I would go out to restaurants. MA and her husband are big foodies as well. Somebody said, never say never. Who is that, and what do you mean?
That was about the never say never about writing another book.
Okay. Yeah. You never know. As a matter of fact, it's funny because people now are starting to send me, it's through educating them, they're sending me things like IKEA's form that you fill out had a gender option on it. So someone sent me that. Somebody, a cisgender couple up in Colorado, sent me Roku's application had a gender neutral. So I'm like already thinking about the second edition, JC. I don't know if you'll be happy about that, but
I'll be super happy about that. I'm always happy for sequels.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, please do put your name. Otherwise, oh, look, it's showing us names now. Hallelujah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hey, Cara. Good to see you. Probably one of my biggest supporters is Cara Riley out of Colorado. Real estate person extraordinaire, has some beautiful houses they sell up there. We're going to do a book drawing here in a couple minutes. I know he keeps saying that, but we have a question. So everybody hang in that's here for a drawing. Leslie, we're going to get to your question, but we're going to go ahead and do a book drawing. It is time to do a drawing. So of all the people here, Stacy, hi Stacy, we'll get to you in 1 second. We have Stacy, we have Cher and Catherine. Did you get all those names down, JC?
I did.
Awesome. We have my partner doesn't count, so don't count them.
Oh, okay.
And go ahead and do a random, and we'll do our first book giveaway.
Okay. Well, I feel in all fairness like I have to redo it since I counted.
Oh, no, you can count her. If she wins, we'll just go to the next person.
She didn't win. Not this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the winner of the book is Marge Adams.
All right, Marge, you won something. And guess what? I don't have to mail this to you. I can hand deliver it and sign it for you. So that's great. We will get that book to you shortly. Welcome to Cara. We were talking about Cara. Leslie has a question. Leslie.
And Stacy's up. Stacy Gaff is here.
Yeah. Hey, Stacy. Leslie's question. I'm a government contractor and write many documents for federal workers. The federal government is very reluctant on the use of gender inclusive language, the use of they or them. Any tips on how to push them a little to help them see that it's not necessary to refer to someone by their gender? Really good question. I'd need to give that some thought. It'd be awesome to get in there and educate them on why gender is so important and being respectful of every person, be they internal or external people. JC, you want to put any comment on that?
Yeah, I just, sometimes I think it's, we've been hearing a lot these days in many contexts about how to create understanding. I actually just discovered a really interesting guy who's working to help people be better citizens and bridge divides. And so one of the points is always to kind of start with questions. And there may not be time for that in a federal government sort of setting. But one of the things could be to really poll people and the ones that are, whether it's an institutional resistance or whether it's interpersonal resistance in the office. I think it always kind of starts with, we're seeing now that a lot starts from the ground up. And so there's always, I think, an opportunity to ask, okay, sort of what is challenging about this? Is it a bureaucratic issue of having to reprint stuff? Is it a cultural issue, depending on who's in office? Is it a procedural issue? And obviously, Leslie, you'll know or be able to get those answers. But I think just starting from the interpersonal and asking, what if there's a resistance, what could make it easier, or of course try to create parallels for anybody that's kind of equivalent to having assumptions made about them. And that kind of always starts, that starts with just being able to ask people what their personal story is, what they love, with divides like these things around inclusion, which are very ingrained in our upbringings or in people who have particular beliefs. There was an early set of campaign ads in the election that was bringing people together around their dogs, and showing people at like gatherings before COVID and seeing everybody come together around a cute puppy. And it's like, who cares? In that context, it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, Green, Independent, Communist, Socialist, none of the above. And in terms of who we are as human beings, does it matter around the love of dogs if we're transgender, gay, straight, cis, they, them, non-binary, spectrum, pansexual, throw in everything. So if there are those little things that can be done in work settings that kind of get it bubbling up so that it doesn't feel confronting, which I think is kind of the issue. It's just sort of a thing that makes people uncomfortable. And then just being cordial, continuing to be cordial about making the changes. I have had to adjust beautifully to referring to Shelley properly as they, them. And Shelley is having to adjust to calling me JC because I dropped my Kobe's. And we're all very patient with each other. So I hope there are some things in there that can be useful. And bureaucratic environments are really are a whole different thing. But I think we know in companies as well, whether in corporate settings, it just starts with the individual. So much that's effective starts with the individual small changes and the questions that we ask and the explorations that we make and learning why it's challenging for people. And then we know how to help. So.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to go and by the way, that's a really, it's an interesting question and thought of to answer, Leslie. That might be something we kind of delve into a little bit more deeply in the second edition of the book that we work on. So just a reminder, those folks that are here, Facebook is letting us see some of you. You're probably coming in, I bet, from my business page versus my personal page. If you're coming in from Shelley Roth page on Facebook, you need to tell us your name because we do not know who you are. So whoever said we will order this online next week, I would really appreciate you if you can order it in the next 48 hours, because one of the things I've learned to do over the last 5 books is if you get everybody to buy the book in a certain window, then you really have a pretty good chance of getting that book into the top 10 of new releases. So if you're going to buy the book, you don't have to buy the book. I'd appreciate it if you did. You can go to shelleyroth.com and click on the book icon. And then when you do buy it, do email me at sroth@shelleyroth. Email me your receipt, and we're going to enter you in a drawing, and we're going to talk about the honoring poem. It'll be your choice, a $75 gift card, LinkedIn webinar series. By the way, I have a LinkedIn webinar series coming up, so I think our next giveaway is going to be a free seat in the LinkedIn webinar series or a 1-hour consult with Shelley. So those are the things you may get if you buy the book and email me your receipt. You get to pick one of those fun things. So let us know you're here. And something else, part of the book. Oh, hey, Sarah. See, now, Sarah, you came in from the personal page and we see your name. Hey, Sarah's going to be on with us later. She is the vice president at the nonprofit that all the book sales, by the way, all the money from the book sales and training and consulting go to the charity that Sarah is part of, and it's Association for Family and Community Integrity. When Sarah comes on, she's going to explain more to us. Hey, Sarah, will you do me a favor and head over to Springboard Works, to the my business page on Facebook, and see, I want to see if I can see your name from there, because obviously there's a bug. We're not seeing people's names. One of the things I get asked on a lot, what can I do in my business to assure that I'm trying to include gender neutral people? And one of the things that it's very easy, now we're not doing a lot of events like we have been, but as simple as a name tag. This is my name tag. And when I was at live events, or even if I'm on event now, of course, we can put our pronouns in our name area when we're doing Zoom calls, etc. But something as simple as having this not only on a name tag, but why not have your pronouns on your LinkedIn profile page next to your name, on your Twitter profile, on your Facebook, and of course in your Outlook or Gmail signature. It's a great, easy way, doesn't cost you anything, to show that you're an ally if you're not on the spectrum, the gender spectrum. Just being an ally and putting your pronouns on those places is just an easy thing to do, and it always makes me care more about that person when on LinkedIn when I see that they have their pronouns on there. So we appreciate that. Let's see, it looks like we're getting ready for another giveaway. Let me change the banner up here, and we will say a time for a giveaway. And this time, if anybody is interested in learning about LinkedIn, I have a webinar series coming up in October. I think it's October 8th. This is the first date, and it's always recorded, so you don't have to be there live. The fee for that is $75, but we are going to give away the 3-part LinkedIn webinar series for anyone that wants to learn more about LinkedIn. So I guess we could do a little drum roll. And who do we have on the winner on that?
Oh my God, it's so funny because it keeps coming up with the same number as the result. So so it would be Marge again. We're gonna bump down. So this one is Stacy.
All right, Stacy. If Stacy, I will send you details as long as I have your email address. So if you are winning something, I'm going to give you my email in the comments. Please email sroth@shellyroth.com, and I will get you details for the LinkedIn session. Yeah, and so I guess, yeah, Sarah, we could add Sarah to this too. I don't know if she's on your list. Why not? Okay, excellent, excellent. All right, so what else can we talk about? Yeah, I had this really amazing interview with, well, it was called Coffee, it was Coffee Talk or something like that in the UK yesterday morning at 7:30, very early for me, especially being locked down over here. But this very young person who I had a really hard time understanding because they were talking so fast, as they do in the UK. I didn't realize what a big organization they were. It's called mygwork.com. I'll go ahead and put it on there, mygwork.com. They are an organization that focuses on GLBTQ community for not just helping them find jobs, but they have resources on their site, and their corporate partners are some of the heavyweights, and they have 250,000 followers on Facebook. I had no idea they had as much exposure as they had. So it was a really good coffee talk, and you can find that coffee talk, well, it will be on my website under the press section. And if you want to check them out, mygwork.com, really, really great organization doing some wonderful things out of the UK. All right.
So what was your favorite question from that interview?
Oh, I think it was like if I could pick one thing to just change or be or change the world. And it was actually, I had an interview for a podcast with one of JC's colleagues and a friend of mine, Heather Swick. It was kind of the same question. What would you do if you could do one thing? One thing. And of course, it would be to have no mirrors, to have every one of us, the only way we could see ourselves was the reflection back from somebody else and how they viewed us. There'd be a lot less hate in the world because it's going to come right back. If you have hate, it's going to reflect right back at you. And you wouldn't care about what your gender was, and you could just be who you are reflected back by that person. So I'm not sure that's a philosophical answer, but that's would be my wish. And of course, everyone has a roof over their head and it has food and no child will go hungry, all of that stuff that is so important. If you're just joining us, please give us your name. We don't know who you are unless you share your name. Thank you.
We have a good question from Kara in the chat, in the comments.
Okay. Let's see if
Kara
I can find it
H.
here. That was a great tip about adding pronoun. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Jacoby? Oh, excuse me, JC.
I just said Kara H since I think we have a Kara R as well.
Great tip. They spell it. One has two R's, one has one R. Great tip about adding pronouns on your profile. Do you know how to find that on Facebook? When you edit your profile on Facebook, you would just add it to your name. Right off the top, I can't tell you how to do that, Kara, but certainly can let you know later. I'm not going to head over there. Thank you for everyone for being here. We really appreciate it. We have 30 minutes have gone by that it felt like about 2 hours. So this is a long broadcast because some of our folks couldn't get here till about 12:30. So that's why we're going so long. Yeah, Cara Riley out of Colorado. We've known each other a long time, Cara has interviewed me for prior books, and Cara's name is pronounced as I stated, and Kara has more of a different pronunciation, hard K. Leslie, tell us what comes after this book. Well, that's a good question. I said I'd never write another book, but here I wrote this book. I think I am going to do a second edition because there's so much more news. You know, the book has become, the news section of the book has become old, if you will, because we know how fast our news feeds change. So probably we'll do that. And I have decided to partner with a group out of Dallas called diversitycrew.com. You can check them out, diversitycrew.com. What they are doing, this Eve Mayer founded this company a whopping 2 months ago, and they are bringing together different components of the diversity picture, if you will. So they're providing training and strategy and benchmarks for larger companies and bringing in education for unconscious bias, for women, for just a whole spectrum of topics. And I fit that really well, the transgender piece and the non-binary piece. It's sometimes hard to present to companies because they want more than just non-binary training. So diversitycrew.com story and offering. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I will share that as well. And then we're going to bring in a guest speaker. Sarah, hang in there. So diversitycrew.com. Hey, MA, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. When you're back in Houston and we're done with this, so let's get together. Thanks for buying the book. Anyone that wants to buy the book, go to ShelleyRoth.com and click on books and buy the field guide. Oh, one letter too many on there. Let's go ahead and do that again. Diversitycrew.com, and I'll go ahead and share that up on the screen so you all can see that. check them out. They're made up of an amazing team. They're trying to get 30 partners, and they're up to 17. And it's we have a meeting every week, and I'm getting to know some wonderful people from all over, and it's a pretty exciting place to be, and I feel very blessed to have them find me. I knew Eve and I started doing social media at the same time, like 14 years ago. And at the time, she wanted me to join her company, and I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't like working for someone. But now with her diversity crew, we're just partners. We're not working for them. We're all independents, and it's pretty darn cool. All right, who we have coming up next, and if you're just joining us, please do share your name. We will be doing another book giveaway or something here in a minute. But before we do that, we have Sarah Fernandez. I'm going to go ahead and Jacoby, we will just hang in there. We're going to add Sarah, and Sarah, hang in. Let me get your understandinggay.org up there. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's going to tell you herself. But Sarah, I've known Sarah, I would guess about 10 years. And Sarah has been working with an organization called the Association for Family and Community Integrity. And I'm going to let her describe it. But basically, every dollar that I bring in from my books and from training goes to the association, to their nonprofit, because they help educate and they keep kids off the street. I don't know if any of you know, but 40% of homeless youth are from the GLBT community. So that's near and dear to my heart. Sarah, take it away. Tell us about what your association does.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I want to thank you for all the support you've given us throughout all these years. You have always been one of our best supporters. So we are a nonprofit, and our mission is to reduce rejection of LGBTQ plus youth by educating their families and educating the community. So we direct all our efforts to the straight community, to the cisgender straight community. And that is difficult because most people are not interested in the topic unless they have someone in their family come out. So it's difficult to reach people and to link up and make allies when they're not basically don't feel a need for it. So as a bridge to the parents, we have tried many, many things. We found that going to schools, talking to counselors, teachers, school nurses, the juvenile justice system, social workers, parenting classes, those are the connections we're trying to make. So we've been attending conferences, and this year, of course, we're a bit sidetracked by that, but we are working on a new web design. We've just put up our English page, and we're working on a sister page that will be in Spanish. So as you said, the numbers of LGBTQ youth who are homeless are a disproportionate number. And when you look at it, it's the same number that it's always been. It's 1 in 4 kids who come out before 18 will become homeless before the year is out. And now it's actually more serious than it was back then, because now kids come out younger. Kids are coming out when they're 12. That's the average age.
Wow.
And when you get a 12-year-old facing the rejection at home, I mean, that kid is more vulnerable if they go out on the street. And we do not have shelters, adequate shelters, because of the laws of taking in a minor, that you can be charged with enticement. You can, you're out of bounds legally. You can't take in a child. So they've been working on that, the legislation. Hopefully that will be more resolved. I think that I think the 16-year-olds now can sign for themselves, but it's an ongoing process.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, and one of the things that drives me to do this work is the only way we're going to have people understand is to educate them. And I think it's so crucial what you're doing. I've run into Sarah at many a conference, handing out those brochures to parents, teachers, guidance counselors, principals, medical folks. And it's just so important. And are you going to be at the Partners in Prevention with a vendor booth? Did you decide?
Yes,
Awesome.
we are registered.
Awesome.
I have been to that. This will be my 5th year.
Awesome. Well, I'm speaking at that. I think I told you, and speaking on gender, the gender spectrum, as well as gender neutral language. So I want to talk to you offline about if you're going to have a virtual table, maybe you could have a couple of my books there to give away or whatever. Sure. And we'll talk about that. So yeah, everybody, every book that you buy today after I pay for printing the book goes to Sarah's organization. Also, I just read Tony's Place is providing they're building a facility for homeless GLBT youth, right? And is that the first facility in Houston?
Well, there's York has a facility, and I can't tell you what York stands for, other than it's youth and that it was placed there by the Salvation Army. It's a drop-in center, and Tony's Place at the moment is a drop-in center because the kids cannot spend the night there. We have had there used to be a place called Safe Spot, and kids could go there, but everything seems to blow up because there are problems when you're letting them stay there. There was conflict between personalities, drugs, just things. You have to have like security. There's another place called Pink Giraffe, and I'm not exactly sure. I believe it's also become a drop-in center. Grace Place.
Is there no place where a youth can be to
spend
live?
The night? No.
I thought Tony's Place was building I guess I read that wrong.
They are building something. I am not sure if they're going to actually have a shelter or if it will be a better drop-in center.
Yeah. Well, at least it's support, but boy, that's just disheartening.
It may be, I would hope that it would be a shelter, but.
Yeah. Well, every book, every training gig is going to support Sarah so she can get to more places, and whether it's virtually or in person, hopefully back to that next year, educate these folks. And so important, the work that you're doing, and I really, really appreciate it. And I thank you for stopping by and sharing that with us. And I'll be in touch to talk about the upcoming conference I'm speaking at, and you're having a virtual table. That's going to be fun, I bet. A virtual table. All right, Sarah, thank you. Is there anything else you want to share with us at this point?
No, but I invite people to come look at the website and give us any feedback or things that they think would make it better.
Yeah, and there's tons of great resources there as well. Videos that Sarah's done to learn. So check it out. Thank you for being here. We totally appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we at 43 minutes? I guess we're almost time for another giveaway. Let me see, we have tip cards and we have books. We're going to wait a few minutes, see if we get a few more people on. And then we're going to talk about the big drawing. The folks that buy the book today will be entered in the drawing for some really cool stuff. And I'm going to let JC talk about the honoring poem here in a minute. But anybody have any questions? Or JC, are there any questions from anybody? And by the way, if you're just getting here, please do tell us your name so we know you're here. There is a bug with StreamYard, and we need to kind of know your name. So let us know just your first name is fine. Let us know you're here. So any questions that you have out there about the book?
There aren't any questions from the comments, but I actually have a question for Sarah, if that's okay with you.
Sure, if Sarah's still here.
Yeah, I have a friend who really sort of could have used your services, coming from a Korean family, and that to be a Korean male who comes out as gay is a whole other universe of rejection. But I was curious, Sarah, aside from, or sort of once you get past the hurdle of cisgender people not really being interested in this topic unless they know someone who's come out, what do you find is kind of the greatest challenge to the work right now? Once you're able to have a conversation, sort of what comes up if there's sort of a unified thing that is sort of a consistent issue.
Sarah didn't leave. Let's get her up here to answer.
This topic, unless they know someone who's come out. What do you find is kind of the greatest challenge to the work right now? Once you're able to have a conversation, sort of what comes up if there's sort of a unified thing that is sort of a consistent issue.
Sarah didn't leave. Let's get her up here to answer. Sarah, turn off shut down Facebook.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. I hope you got that question, and thanks for popping back in.
Well, I heard a question, so I popped back in. We find that most minorities nowadays are more resistant, and so we have a lot more Latinos and Black kids that you find on the street, but you still find it in all cultures. The thing is that we have all grown up with a culture, and we have all developed our biases, and most people have not had an education about sexuality or gender. And what you hear, the stereotypes, the myths, that's what people remember. And that is really entrenched because you hear it in jokes, you see it in newspapers, you see it on TV, you see it in church, you see it from some teachers. So you have adults that are forming your mind, and it's sort of hardwired into us, those stereotypes. So with all parents, you're going to find the same issue. And I'm trying to make our site as diverse as possible, but it all boils down to the parents knowing that they're not alone. I think that's number one. And then we have a page on working through their feelings. Why do they feel this way? So we're going to work on that unconscious bias, what their kids need, how to be supportive even if they're struggling. So those are the first things that we try to cover. And it would be great to have more parents from different cultures talking, and now that's like a further job that we can do. We need to find parents and get them to talk about their experience. And basically it comes down to realizing that this is not about them, it's about their child and what their child needs and how to take care of their child.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's perfect, and I appreciate that. We should have kept you on here. I didn't even think about questions from the audience or from our panel here. So, thanks, Sarah.
Okay.
If any more questions come in, I'll make sure to share them with you.
Okay. Thank you.
And Shelley, just in case people aren't seeing the comments, do you want to just verbally answer the question from Leslie about getting your book moving?
Leslie asked, what helps more, buying the book, helps more getting the book to the bestseller list? Is it purchasing from Amazon or buying from ShelleyRoss.com? Purchasing from Amazon, because that's where the rank comes in, and you have to buy it directly from them. So let me again put this link up. If you go to ShelleyRoss.com and click on the book icon, it's probably the easiest way to go over. You'll see all my books at that link. Just select the field guide and you'll be on Amazon. Now, this is the first time we've published on Ingram Spark versus on Amazon, and Ingram Spark has my book all over Barnes & Noble, you name it, it's out there, which is great. But Amazon is where I'm really looking for the ranking. So thanks for asking that question, Leslie. I do appreciate that. I think it's time for a giveaway. Let's go ahead and get my banners that I made. Giveaway time. If I can find it here. Time for a giveaway. All right. I think we have to give away. Let's see what we have. We have books, of course. So we're going to give away a book, and we're going to give away tip cards, a pack of tip cards that will go with the book. So whoever wins this will get the book and a pack of tip cards to go with the book, which we'll mail to you. So if you win, please make sure to email me, since some of you, I do not have your email addresses, and I need to be able to send that to you. All right, who do we have? Our winner.
Oh, yay, we got a different number. I'm so glad. Let's see. Catherine from Mexico, Catherine.
Oh, Catherine, I love it. Catherine, you might get this book by next February. Catherine has told me, I'm not sure they're still on, but Catherine has told me that it's really hard to get mail there. So I will be sending that to Catherine. I actually even have Catherine's address because I sent her something before, but it took a couple months to come in. If you're just joining us, please let us know your name. There's a little bug with Facebook and not seeing your name. Oh, Eve. Oh, Eve, I'm so glad you're here. I wish I could get you on the screen to talk about Diversity Crew. Book, I'm making a note here, tip cards. I'm sure JC is making a note. Hey, Eve, do you have the time to get on with us if I send you a link? Because Eve is the founder of Diversity Crew, and we were talking about Diversity Crew earlier. We'll see if we get a response. If I know Eve, she's probably multitasking. Heck yeah, awesome. All right, hang in there. I'm going to send you a link. I'm going to send it to Eve at diversitycrew.com. So hang in there 1 minute. Emailing that right now. You know what? I'm going to send it. There we go. All right. A little bit slow here. Eve, Diversity Crew. Okay. Should be there in less than a minute. Sometimes my email, I have a hold on it. So hang in there, you'll get it. So Eve, we were talking about Diversity Crew. So now that you're here, you can talk about not only Diversity Crew, but Eve has the book, and we can get their feedback on it as well. The other thing, while we're waiting for Eve to join us, is Eve's daughter. She asked me if Eve's daughter could interview me about Sarah's nonprofit. Wow, it's weird how this is all coming together, because at their school in Dallas, what I might mention, a Christian school in Dallas, is having a contest, and the student that does the best job presenting a nonprofit will win $10,000 for that nonprofit. So Eve's daughter, Luna, I wanted to say Zoe, Luna, interviewed me for Sarah's nonprofit, Association for Family and Community Integrity. So fingers crossed that she wins $10,000, which is awesome and a wonderful project. So when Eve comes in, we'll introduce you to Eve. As I mentioned earlier, Eve and I started our social media businesses at the same time, and then didn't see each other for 14 years, basically. And Eve just published a bestseller on the New York Times bestseller, not just This Moment in Time bestseller. And she can talk more about that as well if we can get her on here.
Hey, Shelley.
Yes.
So since the tip cards are going to Mexico, you'll have to do some tip cards in Spanish.
Ah, good point. There's another project. So who's ever, Sarah, I need to know who's writing your website in Spanish. Maybe we'll get them to convert the tip card. I do not speak Spanish. JC, do you speak Spanish? Oh, you do? You could convert it?
I am fluent in Spanish.
I did not know that after all these years.
8 months in Spain.
Wow. Awesome. Well, guess what? You have a new project. Yeah, that's a great idea. So we will get that done. Let's see, any other questions we can cover? And by the way, don't forget, let me go ahead and get that banner up. Please do buy the book. You don't have to buy the book, but I would be most appreciative if you go to shelleyroth.com and click on the book icon to purchase the book today in this window of time. Let me just check my Outlook real quick. I hate to do that. So Jacoby, talk about something. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to go see if this email went to Eve.
Talk amongst yourselves.
You know,
Yeah,
me, myself, and I.
Well, I'll share a little bit. I can go ahead and just share a little bit about my history with Shelley. Shelley and I met eons ago, and it's again this beautiful connection. So we met at a Women in Technology International meeting, and I was a speaker at that meeting. And here's the beautiful confluence. So Stacy Gaff, who was on with us and won the LinkedIn webinar, was the director of Women in Technology International Houston. And so I connected with Shelley via Stacy. And then Shelley and I hadn't been in communication for quite some time. And we all got together, Stacy, Shelley, and I. Stacy helped bring us back together at a now defunct tea house that I really loved on Fairview. But yeah, I've so enjoyed and so honored being along on Shelley's trek. I am someone who has never seen differences. I've always celebrated diversity, but to me, it's very foreign as a human being, to not want to be inclusive and to find that challenging, whether it's in the governmental setting, like Leslie said, or whether it's with parents. And I understand it, but it's definitely just kind of a different world from what I live in. And so I've just, Shelley and I and my partner worked together for quite some time as their energy advisors to help harness specific energy to help their business grow. And of course, that energy is something that's universal to all of us. As Shelley said, if there are no mirrors, then it just bounces, what we're seeing reflected bounces right back. That's an energy reality. So how can we bring that more to bear? And so my own trek and my co-trek with Shelley has been really coming to see and help lives live in the reality that we're souls. And this beautiful moment that we're in, where so many lives are starting to feel that they can express who they really are, for my trek has just been seeing that it's a precursor to the reality of our soulful being, which is that we are all genders and none. And so I've just loved seeing Shelley in their books come more and more into sharing their soulful self. And whether we ever say that word or not, and not really soul necessarily in a religious sense, but just in kind of that more expanded being of who we are. Of course, it includes religion for those who are religious, but you don't have to be religious to have a sense that we're something more. And we can see right now in the US, where humanity is capable of creating such incredible beauty and such incredible ugliness. And so that soulful place is just when we're in the version of ourselves that creates beauty and creates harmony through all of our beautiful differences, like in a choir. So yeah. I've just loved that, seeing that, and each book has kind of opened up a next dimension of inclusive being, and it's been magical to be part of the trek.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, JC and I have been working on 5 books. She's been my editor and advisor, and without her, I would not have book 1, let alone book 5. So she's been amazing to work with, and I appreciate everything you've done. And I'm going to let her talk about the honoring poem that one of you may choose to win. Everybody that buys the book today, actually, I think I'll keep it open till tomorrow. Anyone that buys the book will be entered in a drawing for one of 6 different items they can choose from. And we're going to get to that after we bring in my new colleague. So JC, let me go ahead and get you down here for a minute. Welcome to Eve Meyer. Eve, let's get you unmuted. Hold on, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me?
Yes,
I'm
Eve.
so glad I washed my hair this morning. Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah, you look lovely.
Congratulations, Shelly.
Thank
Everyone.
you.
This is my book. I'm basically like the people on Price is Right. This is the beautiful new book that is out today, A Field Guide to Gender Neutral Language. Don't be jealous. I have my copy. I'll be honest, I haven't read all of it yet because I've been engrossed in Don't Call Me Ma'am, a transgender story of living in a world without labels by Shelley Roth. You might know her. And so that's where I'm out. But thank you.
I know them. I have to correct you because
Dang it, did I do it again?
we all do it. Hey, I
Ugh.
do it. Not to worry. And that's a good question I get. What if I make a mistake? What should I do? Just say, sorry, move on. Don't get
I
off.
do it all the time.
Well, it takes practice.
Yeah,
Practice,
but I'm
practice.
supposed to be a professional and I suck at it, Shelley.
Well, tell us about Diversity Crew, because I was just telling everyone that's here. And by the way, if you're just joining us, there's a bug in Facebook. Please do put your name in the comments so we know it's you. I was telling them about what was next for me and I told them a little bit about Diversity Crew, but you'll do a much better job than I can. So tell us about Diversity Crew.
Thank you, Shelley. So Diversity Crew is a consortium of equal partners. It's really just brilliant people. There's 18 of us right now that bring different specialty knowledge and experience to one or two areas of diversity. For example, as you can tell, I'm pretty bad at pronouns and I'm making my way and being educated by Shelley. But for years, I have worked to become adept at speaking and writing and working on strategy for women empowerment and allyship. But I just noticed that a lot of diversity and equity organizations just had one area of focus. And so I have never lived with the viewpoint that Shelley brings. I have never lived with the viewpoint that our partner, Chris brings, who is an African-American man, very fit. I also can't relate to that. And, you know, a veteran. And so we all focus in areas of gender equity, racial equity, LGBTQ plus equity, different ages. We range from millennials to baby boomers. And we also have people on the team who have different areas of specialty, whether they are adept at communications internally or externally, whether they are lawyers around these areas. But we just really see a growing need, especially around small and medium-sized organizations that for the first time are sticking an uncomfortable toe into the world of diversity. And we're partnered with a company called Canaries, which is KANARYS.com, because they are a brilliant company who does dashboard and metrics and technology around, you know, all these efforts you're making in diversity inclusion. Is it really doing something? Okay, you did some unconscious bias training. Is it really making people feel more comfortable? So we're partnering with them around the measurement. And then diversitycrew.com has speakers and consultants and strategists. And we do recruiting, we do training, we do strategy, we do listening sessions. We do these things in person, but mostly virtually currently because of COVID. And we're a remote company. We're a new company and we're growing rapidly. And we also, I think we do something that is different in the fact if you go to diversitycrew.com and you click on pricing, we have made this affordable. I think so many organizations are scared to look into training for DEI and don't know who to trust or what to do. So we've actually published our pricing. And we're so fortunate that Shelley has brought their talents to us because I know what a formidable speaker Shelley is. Because I've known them forever. And we're both badasses. And so we're so fortunate because I'll be honest, I struggle, as you can hear, I struggle with pronouns. And I think this just recognizes that no matter what company you are, or no matter who you are, you might be really advanced in one area of diversity and really at your infancy in another area. And I think when you start to look at like, how do we reduce racial inequities? How do we reduce, treating a senior without respect, or not making our site available to someone with, making it accessible to those who are blind or are deaf? Like, when you start looking at one area of treating humans with equity, I think you just can't stop but look at all areas. And I'll say, one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of Shelley's writing and their speaking is it's at my level. Like, I really need things to be simple. When they get really scientific or too confusing, or they don't speak to me emotionally and business-wise, I just get lost. And Shelley has this way of explaining it to me at a level I can retain and understand, because yes, it affects business, but it really affects the fact that I think that diversity is the death of assumptions. Like, I can't really get to know who Shelley is within a minute or two based on how they look or how they sound. I really want to meet each human and understand from their viewpoint who they are. I'm truly interested. It's really fascinating. And I think
I'm going to interrupt you, because the one thing that you said that I used to think was my biggest liability was that I talked like a fifth grader. Is my biggest strength, because I'm able to explain complex, and JC's sitting down there. I can see her shaking her head. Yeah. I can explain things on a fifth grade level, which means anyone can understand what I'm saying. So it really, really is a gift. And Eve, I so appreciate you being here and supporting me. I've been with Diversity Crew for a whopping maybe 30 days, but they have done so much. They put my book on their site. They've supported me. They've promoted it. So it's time for a giveaway, though. So I have to be my word, and we're going to have to do some giveaways. I thank you for being here. Is there anything else you want to share while you're here? Are you good?
No, please check out diversitycrew.com. Please get this book and talk about it online. If your organization is trying to figure out pronouns, how do we add them to email? How do we do this? How do we book a speaker that can talk about that? Please reach out to us at diversitycrew.com. Reach out to Shelley directly. This is something that companies are confused about, and I'm confused about it. So let's figure it out together. Shelley, congratulations on your book. You're amazing.
Thanks, Eve. I appreciate you. Bye. All right. That was a bonus, an unexpected bonus. Let's get JC back up here. All right, and let me get that banner. Everybody, if you want to buy the book, let me just show this. Don't forget, buy the book, email me your receipt so I know you bought the book, and then you're going to be entered into a drawing for an honoring poem, which JC is going to explain right after my giveaway, or a $75 gift card, a LinkedIn webinar series ticket, or 1 hour of consulting with me. So we have like several things to give away. Buy the book, email me your receipt. How do you buy it? The easiest way, go to shelleyroth.com, click on the book image, and buy the field guide. Now, before we talk about what an honoring poem is, because that's one of the big giveaways for buying the book, let's do another drawing. Let's do another book drawing with tip cards in it. So yeah, you'll get the book. We'll need to get your address. So make sure, if I don't know you, to email me. We'll send you some tip cards with that. Let's see if we have, JC has a list there.
I do. And just before we do that, I just want to confirm, because I can't type into the comments, Canaries is KANARYS.com.
Oh, I spelled it wrong, eh?
That's understandable. It's an unusual spelling.
All right, let me do it again. Canaries, K-A-N-A, how? R?
KANARYS.
There we go. All right, so we got that up. Yeah, they're an interesting company. I'm just learning about them, and the cool thing is they do evaluate. They'll go into a company and evaluate and do a benchmark. So once you start getting training and strategy work, you'll know if it worked versus just here's some training, everything's fixed, see you around. So, all right, so we are going to give away a book, and let's make this one a big one. Let's give away a book, tip cards, and a seat to the 3-part LinkedIn training. We're going to give it all away there.
Okay. So do you want to include people who were on earlier and who are no longer with us, or do you want to include only those who are here now?
No, let's include everyone. I mean, in a way, I'd like to include people that registered, but they knew that I wanted them to show up. So that was
Yep.
one of the conditions.
Yep.
So have to be fair.
Okay. Well, so the winner of this super PAC is MA.
All right, MA, and I think MA had to leave us, so
Yes.
but I will let them know that they won the cards and the book and the LinkedIn class. Awesome. All right. All right, so now, believe it or not, we only have about 20 minutes left, which is amazing to me. I think it went pretty quickly. I appreciate anyone buying the book. You certainly don't have to, but I appreciate it if you do buy the book. It will help drive it into the top of Amazon world. Now, the folks that buy the book and email me the receipt, you will be entered into a drawing for LinkedIn webinar, Amazon gift card, an hour consulting with me, or something that I think is probably the coolest. It's called an honoring poem, and it's written by JC. So I'm going to turn this over for a few minutes so JC can describe this thing that you can win, $350 value on it. We are giving that away as in the drawing. So JC, tell us what an honoring poem is.
Yeah, thanks so much. So my whole life has pretty much been dedicated to building bridges of understanding by revealing what connects us all. And that has gone through various forms, and where I've finally kind of found my true self, which I go back to Shelley's Get Real People and how to get real. So I have dedicated the last year to pretty much my full-time being as a poet and as a visual artist, and what I call a cartographer of the unseen. And one of the greatest unknown territories, one of the most unseen territories, is who we are beyond these physical clothes that are our bodies. And so from a very early age, I've had a pretty unique ability, because it's part of my purpose to have the ability to be able to perceive what's behind the form. You know, and when they say with a human being that you can see the soul of a person by looking in their eyes, Shelley's wish for a world with no mirrors, where we're mirroring who we really are. So much of I think what creates the issues that all of us are here together to talk about, and numerous people have made references to it, is the assumptions we make. And so for a lot of us, what's needed is a way to interact with each other that effectively strips away all these constructed assumptions we have. And I have found myself in this Corona world, not surprisingly, offering and being called upon to kind of share this vision and my healing portion of who I am through honoring poems. And so honoring poems do not have to be for people who have passed, but I've just found that I've been reading a lot at memorials and constructing poems a lot that honor and catch the essence of a life who's being memorialized. And one of the first ones I did was really cool, because it was someone I knew through, I have a very close relationship to the person who asked me to write the poem, but it was her brother, whom I had done energetic work to support for some years back, but had never met in person. And I purposely did not want any details about it, including his name, nothing. Just let me tune in to this, to the essence of this life, and write a poem that celebrates their life. And the poem was called The Firebird. And it was about being a phoenix. And this was a life who struggled their entire life with addictions. And it turns out, and the person that I wrote the poem with is like in law and is not a crier ever. I've never seen them in like over a decade of knowing them. I've never seen them cry. And she started to cry by the end of the poem, because she realized that the poem reminded her of a major chapter in her brother's life that she had completely forgotten. And that was that he was, and it's really fascinating because it's been in the news with the California fires. He was, when he was in a juvenile prison, one of the kids who was taken out and trained in firefighting. And they use prison populations in California to fight fires. And it's been a real issue with this mega season because they can't use the prisoners because of Corona. And she said to me, the whole poem was about his sort of rebirthing through the fire of who he is. And it turns out that the one thing that she said that she'd totally forgotten, the one thing that he loved in life was training in fires and helping in that way. So that's the type of stuff that I'm able to perceive without even knowing the person at all. And so the honoring poem, again, doesn't have to be about someone who's passed, but it certainly can be. But it can also just be about someone that you would like to celebrate for who they are, whether that's yourself or a loved one or a friend or even a cause. You know, we're seeing the death of a lot of things lately. We're seeing things that we need to cherish being revealed that we've assumed are sort of agreed upon and they're going away. And so it can be for a place that you love. Shelley and I share a love of Galveston. So anything, it can be for an organization that you truly care about. So that's what's on offer there. And basically I just bring in my unique sense to look past the form and tune into the essence of a life and really celebrate. And it's like, it's like painting a portrait, but in words. You're muted.
How do I win that?
I will enter you in the drawing if you want.
No, that's not fair. So everybody, JC, if you're just getting here, thank you for sharing your name. We don't know you're here because Facebook's having a bug unless you share your name. So hi to Cara and to Amy. Thanks for being here. And JC was the editor of all 5 of my books, including the field guide. And one of the things that we have is a giveaway. If you buy the book, go to ShelleyRoth.com and click on the book image. Buy the book. Certainly you don't have to, but I would appreciate it if you buy it today. If you buy the book, one of the things you can choose from in the drawing, actually we have 7 things to give away in the drawing, but one of the things is JC writing an original honoring poem for you, for a loved one, for a place, for a person, for anything. So that, if I were picking, that would be the thing I'd pick. Or you can pick an hour consultation with me or an Amazon gift card or LinkedIn webinar coming up. Amy, I think you're registered in that LinkedIn webinar series. But yeah, so buy the book, email me your, I think I have the directions right here. Let's make sure we get that up. Buy the book, email me at sroth@ShelleyRoth, send me the receipt. You'll be entered in a drawing for an honoring poem or a gift card or a LinkedIn webinar series that's recorded. It's live, but it will be recorded, or a 1-hour consult with me. So here we are, unbelievably, at 1 hour and 18 minutes. I think we need to do another giveaway because we have some new folks here. I guess it is time to give away. Let's give away. What haven't we given away? Let's do another book and a pack of tip cards. A book and a pack of tip cards. And if anybody has questions on anything or wondering what I'm doing with this book, how we're putting it out into the world, I really appreciate you being here and sharing in this launch with me. Let me go ahead and add that where to go to purchase the book. Actually, also, I'll tell you, when you go to ShelleyRoth.com, you can join my private Facebook gender advocacy group. If you'd like, you can sign up for my gender newsletter where I send out news once a month, or my social media tips once a month. Lots of stuff on Shelley Roth, but if you click on the books, that'll take you over to Amazon. So who do we have, JC?
Let's see, just clarifying. So this is book and tip
Correct.
cards, right? Not webinar as well.
Oh yeah, why not do a super PAC? I have plenty of seats for the webinar. Let's do a super PAC.
All right. Great. Okay. That is Donnie Stevens.
Donnie Stevenson. Not sure she,
Stevenson. I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah, not sure Donnie's still on there, but congratulations, Donnie. You guys are getting it all. Marge and Donnie got the super PAC. Awesome. So for the last 10 minutes of our broadcast, does anybody have any comments or questions or anything they'd like to share with us about what they're up to and why they're interested in this book and how you heard about it? I just realized as we're broadcasting, one of the mistakes, there are no mistakes, I made was, I mean, I promoted this and published it, but not thinking about, because Facebook is not originating this, StreamYard is, Facebook's not letting anybody know that I'm broadcasting live. So what I should have, no should have, would have, could have, hate those words, let everybody know on Facebook that I would be broadcasting, because Facebook's certainly not going to support StreamYard. We know how selfish they are. They want to own the world. So yeah, that's probably why we didn't get the numbers. I thought we'd be up. I think at one point we had about 15 folks in, but that's probably why, because Facebook does a great job of promoting their live streams. So I appreciate everybody that's here. Don't forget some of the earlier tips we gave you. Add your pronouns to your LinkedIn profile, to your Outlook or Gmail signature. Right after your name, just put a comma. That, even though you might not be trans or non-binary, you can be an ally. If you're heterosexual or cisgender, that's an easy way for you to show allyship for people like myself that are transgender. The other thing I didn't mention, before the field guide came out, this was my coming out story about, how long has this book been out?
Not that long, maybe a year and a half, 2 years?
2 years, yeah. This actually came out, and it's basically my story, and I will show you.
This was my favorite editing job of all of them.
And why was that?
Oh, because, you know, it's kind of what Eve said. It has the human component. It's got all these wonderful photographs and so many personal stories. And that's one of the things that I wanted to ask you, Shelley, if you could just share can you share a story of like when an assumption was made about you that sort of set you on this whole path?
I will, but yes, everybody, that's me. God gave me this like costume to wear, and it was like this wonderful girl costume with really big bosoms and long, beautiful, silky hair. So yeah, that's from the book, Don't Call Me Ma'am.
And we do have Jackie Wilson and Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda. Rhonda Suter.
Oh, Rhonda, there's a name from the past. Hey, Rhonda, yes. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And Jackie, welcome. Jackie's with Diversity Crew too. Yeah, we appreciate you being here. We've been doing giveaways, and I'm just going to say again, please go to ShelleyRoth.com, click on the book image and buy the book today if you would, because it will help drive it up. All sales dollars from the book, dollars from training go to under the Association for Family and Community Integrity, understandinggay.org, nonprofit here in Houston that helps educate parents and teachers and counselors on homeless youth. So thanks everybody for showing up. We'll do another giveaway or two. And I already, let's see, Jacoby asked me, when have I encountered an experience of being misgendered? Was that kind of what you asked me, Jacoby? Excuse me, JC. Oh, you are muted.
Yes, and just so you know, Beth Harding Young is on.
Hey, Beth. Hey, everybody. Oh, Amy, you already got the book. Which book? The Don't Call Me Ma'am book? Oh, the transgender. Yeah, awesome, Amy. I'm glad I've known Amy. Amy does training as well, corporate training, and I've known Amy a long time. So thanks for the support, Amy. And I think you'd really enjoy the field guide for the work that you do. I think it would really help in your organizations. Whoever just joined us, please tell me who you are. We don't know. There's a bug on Facebook. Facebook doesn't like StreamYard because we're not using Facebook. So, oh, Donnie, you're still here.
Still.
Yay. Hey. Okay, the question was, where did I run into a misgendering occurrence? And so I think the one that always stands out in my brain happened to be at my doctor, my gynecologist, no less, which for a transgender male like myself is the most horrifying place to go, is a gynecologist. So I thought I would finally get brave enough and tell my gyno that I'm trans to please quit calling me ma'am and she, and please understand how sensitive I am. And when I shared that with them, they absolutely dismissed me, denied me, minimized me, told me that I didn't even understand what I'm talking about. The problem was they didn't understand. I offered to give them training. I'd offer to come in for free and train their support staff, but they'd have nothing of it. So that was really, really bad. And by the way, I'm looking for a new gyno. On a better note, my dentist misgendered me, and I corrected them and their staff, and they brought me in to train a team of 25 dentists on gender, because my dentist who owns the practice daughter has come out as non-binary. So there's two opposite ends of the coin. Thanks for asking that question. We're looking at about 5 more minutes. Do we have any questions out there? Oh, Beth is in Utah. Jumped on 2 hours late. No, that's all good. We've been just having fun. This will be recorded. I think what I'll do is share this with everybody that registered for the event, as well as posting it on Facebook, and maybe I think it'll be on Facebook and YouTube for replay. So thanks for being here. Ask your questions, and let's do another giveaway. Oh, non-binary. There's a question. Who is asking that question so I can know who you are, please? I'd like to answer non-binary. Our world pretty much is binary when it comes to male and female. So we're born and our biology is male or female in most cases. And so what happens at birth, we're assigned a gender based on our biological sex. And gender is something that a child might not even start to understand or identify with until they are older, maybe 3 years old, 4 years old, and they start understanding what gender is. For myself, I was biologically born in a female body, but my gender identity is male. And I also call myself non-binary, meaning I do not relate to the binary, male, female. I am non-binary. Non-binary folks are not in one box or the other. They could be on a spectrum. So non-binary means that you could be gender identity male, gender identity female, gender identity across the spectrum, different days of the week. Some non-binary folks, especially younger people, one day they might feel that gender identity is male, another day gender identity female. So they're across the spectrum and I hope that answered your question, Donnie, on non-binary. Non-binary, I like that. All right, let's do a giveaway. We're almost out of time. Let's do another giveaway because we have a handful of new people here. Let's do the book and let's do the whole packet. Why not? Let's do the book and a free ticket to my $75 LinkedIn 3-part webinar series starting October 8th. Make sure, if I don't know you, that I have your email address. My email is sroth@shellyroth.com, sroth@shellyroth. So we'll do a whole packet. It'll have tip cards, the field guide. And by the way, if you get a free field guide, please still buy one and give it to a friend in business or to a family member that may be struggling with a daughter, a son that is non-binary or transgender. Okay, JC, what you got there?
Sorry, Leslie.
Leslie. All right. I don't know if Leslie, are you still on here, Leslie? You got the super PAC. Leslie's been as an amazing artist. During the pandemic, Leslie drew a bird every day and shared it on Facebook. It was so refreshing to see one of her amazing drawings of a bird. And yeah, so Leslie, I'll be in touch with that. Let's see, Beth, love your description of non-binary. My son came out 5 years ago as gay, but this past month shared with our family that he identifies as non-binary. So we're striving to do better and understand and support him. You're awesome. Beth, thank you. That is so wonderful. Thank you for being a loving parent and supporting your child. It's amazing to me how many homeless youth we have in the GLBT community because they don't have parents like Beth. This is your offspring. This is your blood. Learn about this, understand it, and don't reject them. That's the worst thing you could do. So thank you, Beth. Leslie's here. You won the super PAC, Leslie. Yay. All right. I'll be in touch with everybody. It looks like we're at 12:30. This went a lot quicker than I thought. Don't you think, JC?
It flew.
Yeah. It
Yep.
flew. So don't forget, if you buy the book, last chance, I'm going to put this up again. Buy the book, email sroth@shellyroth.com. Email your receipt because we have lots to give away. The honoring poem, consulting, a gift card. You get to pick, or a seat in my LinkedIn webinar. So email me your receipt. We'll have till buy the books by Sunday, and we will go ahead and do the drawing, and I'll announce it Monday. Everybody that registered that showed up today, you also will be given entered in a drawing. I will announce that to everybody that registered. We had 30 people register, and one of those folks will be win a $100 gift card or 2 hours consulting with me. So thanks for being here, JC. Thank you for your support, and I guess that's it. Peace out, everybody. Have a great rest of the, I guess it's Friday, weekend. Talk to you later.
Bye. Thank you.